You didn't come this far to stay the same. Let that sink in for a moment. You didn't go through everything you've been through, the pain, the setbacks, the late nights, the silent tears, the silent wars inside your own mind just to arrive at this point and stop growing. You were built for something more, and deep down, you know it. But here's the truth. Most people don't level up because they wait for permission. Permission from the world, permission from their past, permission from fear to finally let them go. Wait until years go by and dreams die quietly, but not you, not today. Because this moment right here, this isn't just another motivational speech. This is your wake-up call. You've been sleeping on your potential, playing small, shrinking around people who couldn't handle your light. You've told yourself the same old story for too long. Maybe next year, maybe when I'm ready, maybe when life settles down. But life's not going to slow down. It's not going to hand you your greatness. You've got to rise and grab it with both hands. And to do that, you need to let go of who you were and step into who you were born to be. This isn't about hype. It's not about good vibes and catchy slogans. It's about you looking yourself in the mirror and saying, no more excuses, no more delays, no more playing weak when I was built to be strong. In the next few minutes, I'm going to take you through 6 powerful keys, not theories, not fluff, but real shifts that will challenge everything you thought you knew about discipline, mindset, standards, identity, action, and life itself. But I'll be real with you, this won't be easy to hear. It's not going to collar your comfort zone. It's going to cut deep because growth is a surgery, not a massage. If you're tired of watching other people live the life you know you're capable of, if you're sick of making promises to yourself that you keep breaking, if you know without a doubt that this version of you is just a shadow of what you could be, then stay with me. Because the next few minutes could be the line in the sand. The moment your story changes, the moment you stop surviving and start leveling up. Let's begin. You want to level up. Then it starts with one thing, truth. The raw, filtered kind, because nothing changes until you stop lying to yourself. I don't care how talented you are, how smart you are, many books you've read or podcasts you've listened to. If you're not being radically honest about where you are and why you're there, then you're building your life on a foundation of sand. When the storm hits and everything crumbles. The real enemy isn't out there. It's not your boss, your parents, your partner, the government, the economy, or your bad luck. The real enemy is the voice in your head that says, it's not your fault. That voice that feeds your ego but starves your growth. That lets you off the hook every single time you fall short. That whispers, you're doing your best, when deep down, you're not. I get it. Taking ownership is brutal because when you finally admit, this is my fault, I created this, I tolerated this, I allowed this, you feel exposed, you feel like a failure. But listen to me. That moment, that pain, that raw honesty, that's where your power begins. That's the moment you take the wheel back. Because if you created this mess, that means you can create something greater, something unstoppable. But most people don't want to face that mirror. They'd rather scroll, distract, numb out, point fingers. They'd rather feel comfortable in mediocrity than feel the sting of personal responsibility. And that's why they stay stuck year after year, promise after broken promise, drowning in excuses and calling it reality. Here's the truth you need to swallow. If your life is full of chaos, it's not a coincidence. If your relationships are toxic, if your health is failing, if your goals are dust-covered wishes, that's not because the world is unfair. It's because somewhere along the line, you stop choosing discipline, you stop choosing action, you stop choosing you. And until you own that fully, fiercely, outflinching, nothing in your life will shift. When you take radical ownership, something inside you wakes up. You stop waiting for a savior. You stop hoping someone's going to fix it for you. You stop pretending that life just happens and realize you are the cause. And when you own the cause, you reclaim the control. You stop being a victim of your story and you become the author of a new one. So I'll say it straight. You want to level up? Good. Then grab a pen and rewrite the truth. Own your part. All of it. Stop outsourcing your power to excuses, to people who don't believe in you, to circumstances that have already passed. The version of you who keeps avoiding responsibility has no place in the future you're trying to build, because you can't conquer what you won't first confess. The moment you raise your standards is the moment your life begins to transform. Not in theory, not someday, but immediately. Because here's what most people never realize: your standards are setting the ceiling for your entire life. What you accept, what you tolerate, what you settle for. That's what you get every single time. You say you want to level up. You say you're ready for more. But let me ask you something real. What are your current standards? Not your dreams, not your goals. I'm talking about the minimum you accept from yourself every day, because your results are not a reflection of your potential. They are a reflection of your standards. If you consistently sleep in, if you tolerate half-effort workouts, if you let yourself break promises you made to yourself, then don't be surprised when mediocrity becomes your reality. People love to talk about ambition. They post it, they speak it, they write it down on vision boards. Very few are willing to live it. And living it means saying no to what's easy and yes to what's necessary, even when it's uncomfortable. You can't expect an elite life with average standards. It doesn't work that way. You can't ask for greatness while accepting excuses. You can't dream of being exceptional and still act like the world owes you something. The world owes you nothing. Life responds to what you demand from it, not with your words, but with your habits, your boundaries, your self-respect. People say they want change, but they still hang on to the same low standards that created the very situation they want to escape. They keep lowering the bar just to feel good in the short term. But when you lower the bar, your future, you chip away at your own potential one compromise at a time. I've seen it too often. People want big results with small commitments. They want transformation without sacrifice. They want to grow but still protect their comfort zone. And you know what? That's why most think, because growth and comfort can't live in the same place. You've got to get to a place where you say, enough. Enough settling. Enough hoping things will get better without raising the bar. Enough giving yourself an easy way out. When your standards rise, everything else starts to align. You start speaking differently, walking differently, thinking, acting, showing up like someone who's already leveled up. This isn't about being perfect. It's about demanding more from yourself every day, because you know that your next level doesn't respond to who you've been. It responds to who you're becoming. And that version of you, that higher, stronger, sharper version, they don't beg for better. They require it. You raise your standards. Your life has no choice but to rise with them. Everyone wants to level up, but very few are willing to do the one thing that actually guarantees it. Build discipline, not motivation, not inspiration, discipline. Ability to do what needs to be done long after the mood to do it has passed. That's the separator. That's the difference between those who talk and those who rise. See, motivation is temporary. It's emotional. It comes and goes like the weather. You watch a video, you get pumped for a moment, and then life hits. Then the alarm goes off at 5 a.m. and your bed feels warm. Then that workout feels heavy. That salad feels boring. That goal feels far. And if all you have is motivation, you justify, you hit snooze on your own future. But discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline shows up no matter what. Discipline gets out of bed when it's cold, when it's tired, says no when temptation shows up. Discipline is commitment in motion. It's proof that you're serious. It's a declaration that you're not living at the mercy of your feelings anymore. You're living by your standards. People always ask, what's the secret to success? And they expect some magic formula or complicated strategy. But the truth is simple, boring even. Show up every day, whether you feel like it or not. Master the basics. Repeat the fundamentals. Push through the resistance. It's not sexy. It's not flashy, but it's what builds warriors. It's what builds legends. Your life right now is a reflection of your discipline or your lack of it. And that's not judgment. That's freedom. Because if your lack of discipline created this life, then strengthening it can create the life you actually want. The health, the mindset, the finances, the relationships, it all improves when you decide that you'll stop negotiating with your excuses. You don't need more time. You don't need more information. You need to get consistent. You need to make discipline your default setting. Because the truth is, the hardest part isn't doing the work. It's doing it when no one's clapping for you. No one's watching. When no one's validating your progress. That's when champions are made in silence, in discomfort, in those lonely reps no one else sees. The greatest transformations don't happen overnight. They happen brick by brick. Choice by choice, hour by hour. It's about doing what others won't so you can live how others can't. That's the cost of leveling up, not just intensity, but consistency every single day. Discipline is the doorway to freedom. And once you walk through it, everything begins to shift. If you're serious about leveling up, then it's time to get brutally honest about one thing, your environment. Because you can have the best intentions, the strongest goals, and the most disciplined routine, but if you're surrounded by people who drain you, distract you, or keep you playing small, you'll stay stuck in the same cycle, no matter how bad you want out. Not just influenced by the people around us. We are shaped by them. Their habits, their energy, their beliefs, they bleed into us whether we realize it or not. You cannot expect to think big, act bold, grow strong while spending your days around people who settle, complain, and make excuses for everything. That's not judgment. That's alignment. Your circle should reflect the future you're walking into, not the past you're trying to escape. Here's the tough part. Sometimes that means outgrowing the people closest to you. Not because you're better, but because you're headed in a different direction. Growth will expose what no longer fits. And when that happens, you've got a choice to make. You either shrink yourself to stay connected to the old, or you expand and trust that the right people will rise with you. Most people stay stuck because they confuse loyalty with limitation. They hang on to friendships that were built on comfort instead of growth. They keep saying yes to people who reinforce the habits they're trying to break. And they wonder why they can't stay consistent, why their mindset keeps slipping. They feel pulled back every time they try to move forward. It's not always a lack of willpower. Sometimes it's just a lack of the right environment. Your future needs to be protected. That means you've got to start guarding your circle like your life depends on it. Because in many ways it does. Who you spend time with is a preview of who you're becoming. You hang around people who train hard, think long term, take ownership. Bet on themselves rubs off. You start raising your game without even realizing it. But surround yourself with negativity, gossip, and comfort-addicted minds, and you'll feel your ambition slowly die day by day. So you need to ask yourself, you allowing into your world, are they pushing you to level up, or are they silently pulling you down? Are they speaking life into your goals or planting doubt in your mind? Are they walking the path of growth with you? Are they sitting still while you keep moving? The truth is, your circle is either your anchor or your launch pad, and you get to choose which one it is. You can't level up while holding on to the identity that's keeping you stuck. The truth is, the version of you that got you here, with all the habits, all the fears, all the stories, cannot take you to the next level. At some point, you have to be willing to kill off that old identity. Not hate it, not resent it. Recognize that it no longer serves the life you're building. Growth isn't just about adding more. It's about letting go of what no longer fits. Every time you say, that's just how I am, you're locking yourself into a version of you that was built from survival, not intention. You were shaped by pain, shaped by past, shaped by environments that taught you how to cope, not how to thrive. You're not here to repeat that cycle. You're here to break it. You're here to evolve. And that means shedding old labels. The lazy one, the unmotivated one, the anxious one, the one who always quits, the one who can't finish what they start. These aren't truths. They're identities you adopted when you didn't know any better. But now you do. And with that awareness comes responsibility. People want change, but they don't want to give up who they've been. They cling to the old story because it's familiar, because even pain, when it's predictable, feels safe. But the longer you hold on to the old version of you, the more you delay the future that's waiting for you. The person you're becoming is on the other side of some hard decisions, the kind that force you to step into discomfort, to walk away from who you were, and to walk toward who you were meant to be. This is where most people stop, not because they lack potential, but because they're still emotionally attached to their past identity. They fear being misunderstood. They fear losing the people who only knew the old version of them. Understand this? Your next level is not concerned with the comfort of others. It's not concerned with the approval of your past. It's concerned with alignment, not attachment. You've got to become the kind of person who makes decisions based on where you're going, not where you've been. You've got to start acting like the version of you who already has the discipline, the clarity, the power, because it's not about faking it. It's about claiming it. And once you claim it, you start building the habits, the mindset, and the life to match it. Every day, you are casting votes for the identity you want to live in. The more you show up as that higher version, the more real it becomes. It's not an overnight shift. But brick by brick, you build the new you, not by talking about it, but by showing up differently. The moment you finally let go of who you were, that's the moment who you really are starts to rise. Let me be clear. Nothing changes until you take action, not intentions, not thoughts, not plans. The only thing that moves your life forward is action. And I'm not talking about once in a while action. I'm talking about daily, deliberate, even uncomfortable action. The kind that pulls you out of your excuses and forces you into motion, even when every part of you wants to wait. Waiting is the disease of progress. People wait for the perfect moment, the right mindset, the ideal time when everything lines up and they finally feel ready. But let's get honest, that moment never comes. Life doesn't pause for you to gather confidence. Confidence comes from action, not before it. You want to feel more certain? Then move. Start. Do something. Clarity doesn't come from thinking. It comes from doing. You don't need a perfect plan to begin. You need courage. You need the willingness to look foolish, to get it wrong, to stumble. That's how growth works. That's how transformation begins. One built anything great by sitting around waiting for fear to disappear. You don't outthink fear. You outwork it. You take action in its presence, and every step you take forward is one step further from the old life you're trying to leave behind. People say, but what if I fail? You will. At some point, you're going to get knocked down. That's part of the process. But failure from action will always teach you more than success from hesitation. You grow when you engage. You learn by being in it, not by watching from the sidelines, hoping for a guarantee. You're not short on potential. You're not short on time. You're short on execution. And that's the hard truth. But it's also the most empowering one. Because if the problem is you not moving, then the solution is simple: start moving. Take the first step, no matter how small it is. Don't wait for the motivation to strike. You've been lied to. Motivation doesn't lead to action. Action leads to motivation, and you've got to commit to showing up even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when the results aren't instant. Because real growth, the kind that lasts, is quiet. It's built in the daily grind, the unsexy repetitions, the early mornings, the nights when you're tired but you show up anyway. That's where momentum is born. The truth is, you already know what to do. You've just been hesitating to do it. But now there's no room for delay. Your next level isn't going to wait for your doubts to disappear. It's waiting for your decision. So make the move, take the shot, and let your actions speak louder than every excuse you've ever told yourself. Because the life you want is on the other side of the action you've been avoiding.